Hey, what's up internet? It's Bluebeard. Welcome to my humble abode. We are obviously here in civilization, and we're gonna do my Colorado Trail gear video. Been putting it off for forever. I've got all the stuff here on my living room floor, and yeah, let's get into it, I guess. I don't have this planned at all, so we're just gonna kind of talk about it. I don't have notes on the weight of anything, but I'll probably link my lighter pack and you'll be able to kind of get more information on everything from there. So I guess I'll just kind of pack my pack as we put this thing together. So first and foremost, this is the Palante V2. I got it in the fall of 2019, so whatever version of the V2 that is. I think it weighs in at right around a pound, maybe it's 17 ounces. It's the 19-inch torso length version. Of all the backpacks that I've used so far, this is my favorite for sure. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Palante, which probably isn't a whole lot of the ultralight community at this point, it's maybe 37 to 40 liters, including your side pockets and the mesh in the back. And then of course the bottom pocket down here, something that they're kind of known for. Yeah, I mean that's, I don't know what else to say. I mean there's a stashable hip belt down here for those kind of heavier carries. But I absolutely love this backpack. Mesh pockets on your straps as well, which I normally just stuff with like Cliff bars or just, you know, whatever kind of granola bars or whatever you have for easy access to just snack. And then I normally, with the bottom pocket, I keep like, and I stole this from John Z, I keep just granola, like a huge bag, Ziploc bag of granola in the bottom pocket, and I'll just pull that out and eat it throughout the day as well. This plastic bag is just a pack liner. I mean, I think the V2 is fairly waterproof. You kind of want some amount of redundancy there for the things that you need to keep dry. So just having a pack liner is a good idea. I think this came from Gossamer Gear, if I remember correctly, and I think they sell them in packs of 2. So this one, a little bit torn up from the 500 plus miles that it's seen between the Colorado Trail and just kind of shorter weekend trips. I think the Centennial Trail I used this on, and then also some stuff on the Superior Trail here in northern Minnesota. So we'll just pack the pack the way that we would on trail, essentially. So the next thing that we should probably talk about is the quilt that I used. This is the Loco Libre Ghost Pepper quilt. I think it's like 900 fill power down, or 850, 800, something like that. So it's supposed to be good to temps, I think down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. And of course that's like probably not where the comfort temp is. It's probably more like comfortable down to like mid 30s, maybe. I'll definitely say that on the Colorado Trail, it kept me warm for the most part, but I did have some cold nights at higher elevations, like when I was camping at 10,000 feet or so. I did have some cold nights, but that wasn't so much the quilt, it was more about my sleeping pad and losing heat to the ground. So, quilt's awesome. I think it's about 16 ounces, maybe 17 or so. And yeah, Loco Libre is just a cottage industry company, and they make these per order. So you get to choose your material colors on the inside and the outside. And black is boring, but you know, if this gets wet, having the really absorbed, you know, just like the black to absorb the sunlight, I think helps to dry things out during the day. And so that's why I went with black. And then just the orange interior. I mean, I don't know, it's just whatever, it's striking. So again, just packing our pack as I would on trail. The quilt goes in next. I know not everybody likes to keep their quilt in its stuff sack. I actually do, which I don't have it here because, you know, off trail I've been storing my quilt just open, like I just had it, because you don't want to compress your down. So I normally, when I'm on trail, I will actually pack my quilt into the stuff sack. You know, the stuff sack's probably like a half ounce. You know, it doesn't weigh that much. I know there's people that would say, oh my God, ditch that weight, what are you doing? But I kind of like keeping it in the stuff sack. Okay, so that's my quilt and the pack. You know, normally kind of go with clothes, I think, after my quilt is packed. So this is just the token frog togs, of course. Yellow, just because if anything goes wrong, it is good to have a bright color. Like if you need to be rescued or whatever, you know, grab somebody's attention. I think that it's probably smart to have something, at least one item in your gear that, you know, you could maybe be seen from the sky. Yellow's just, it's cool, whatever, it's bright, you know, it's easy to be seen. Frog togs, it's basically a trash bag made into a jacket, and they're dirt cheap, so, you know, I know that they can get holes and whatever, but I mean, I've had this now since, God, did I take this on the Superior Trail also? This is maybe 800 miles in on this jacket, and it's held up. I don't have any holes in it yet, and it keeps me mostly dry, so yeah. There's probably better, lighter, more expensive rain jackets. I think Arc'teryx makes one that people are, you know, obsessed with, but just for the price, I think it's good to have some amount of like budget and high-end options, and like it's not gonna be raining all the time, so yeah, I'm okay with skimping on the rain jacket a little bit. Maybe it'll be something that I'll replace in the future with something nicer, but for now, Frog Togs is great. These are my ripstop dance pants. I think they're called body wrappers on Amazon. I actually just saw that Jupiter is rocking some of these now, where I have taken some inspiration from Jupiter for some of the stuff in my setup. This is actually something that I front ran him on, I guess. I'm sure that he knew about them. It's just that he had Montbell's rain pants, which I know are like really, really great. They're lighter than these, I think, by a little bit, and they're definitely, I'm sure, more durable. But yeah, these body wrappers, ripstop dance pants, they're like ballerina warm-up leggings, but they're made out of nylon, and yeah, I mean, like if you're in a downpour, the water is definitely gonna go through these, but it's a nice like wind-breaking layer, and it dries quickly because it's 100% nylon. So these are not gonna like keep your legs from getting wet if you're getting rained on, but they will kind of give you some warmth. They're also nice for at night in camp. You know, if the mosquitoes are out or whatever, this is some amount of protection. And again, if it's windy, great. Also super lightweight. I don't know off the top of my head, but again, check out the lighter pack. That information will be in there. Fleece. For the Colorado Trail, I used two like ultralight micro fleece, two different brands. This is the QE Peloton 97. I think it's like 5 ounces and change. Fairly expensive, but I mean, for what it is, it's an incredible active layer. Obviously not as warm as a puffy, and it's not as warm as like a microgrid fleece, like a Melanzana, or, you know, like a Patagonia R1 or whatever. Maybe it's as warm as an R1, but it's definitely lighter than an R1. I don't know, you know, somebody can do a comparison on those two, but it's awesome. I love this. Always gonna have one of these going forward, I think. And because again, I didn't take a puffy, which maybe I should have. I mean, I don't know, I was fine without it. I was never all that cold, but it definitely would have been warmer. I decided to have two micro fleeces. So this is the Mac Pack. It's made out of Polartec Alpha, which is this like super, super crazy military tech fleece where it's kind of porous, or not kind of porous, it's very porous. I mean, maybe you can see it on the camera, it's kind of see-through. So excellent active layer. If it's windy, the wind goes straight through this one. The QE, not the case. It's not as breathable or like outright porous as the Mac Pack is. Yeah, I would combine the two of these on colder days. I kind of like that, just ability to combine two layers into it. I just was able to have a broader range of temperature that I could cover with combinations of two layers of really light fleece rather than carrying a puffy and maybe one of these, or, you know, a micro grid fleece. Instead of having both of these combined, I could have had a melee, but then, you know, when you're in that weird mid-range temperature with the melee might be too warm, but then you take the melee off and then you're too cold. having two was actually pretty awesome. And the Peloton 97 plus the Mac Pack is still lighter than a Melly actually. I think a Melly is around 12 or 14 ounces, give or take, depending on your size. And the combination of the Mac Pack plus the Peloton is like right around 10, maybe 11 ounces. So 2 layers, you know, are they combined as warm as a Melly? I'm not sure. I mean, I'd have to do like a gear test again, but you know, I really liked doing the 2 of those. Let's just do, this is my worn gear. This is just a Columbia desert shirt. It's breathable, it's got sun protection. There's a couple of vents as well, kind of in the back with this mesh. It's long sleeve, which I'm not crazy about. I mean, like it gives good sun protection, I guess, in kind of hotter desert climates and whatever, but I think I want to go short sleeve in the future. So whatever, just basic shirt. Another thing I got from John Z is just short shorts. The mistake that I made, I really actually liked these, super short, so you know, if I got wet, it's just less material to dry, and you know, really, really breathable on hot days, of course, as well, just having less fabric, less material. But I will say that having a perforated mesh short was terrible. This thing was basically like a microplane cheese grater on the inside of my thighs for the first week of the trail, which was terrible. So if you're gonna get short shorts, my God, get something that is like nylon or, you know, polyester or whatever that is not perforated or like porous. I would recommend a single solid layer for sure. Sleeping pad, super basic. This is Nemo's Switchback. Yeah, Switchback. Cut down. I think I took off maybe 4 panels or so. So this is just like torso length. And on most trails, this probably would be great. But like I said, on the Colorado Trail, combined with a quilt where I don't have any down on the backside of my torso, this was just so thin, and I lost, I think, so much of my body heat to the ground that I did have some kind of really poor sleep on the Colorado Trail, which I haven't experienced in the past. So maybe doing an inflatable pad for the Colorado Trail would be preferred. It'll weigh more, of course, maybe 6 ounces, I think. This is only like 10. It is super, super nice and convenient, super fast to set up for like siestas on trail when you're taking like lunch or whatever, and then just using it as a seat when it's folded up like this as well is just really nice. I also was doing yoga on the trail and using this as a yoga mat. It's like exactly what my downward dog is, from like my hands being on the front to my feet being on the back, which is nice. So I really am a fan of accordion foam sleeping pads just for the utility that they offer. But yes, the insulation, the R value was not high enough with a quilt anyway on the Colorado Trail to keep me warm at night at elevation. But I think maybe if I had had a sleeping bag where it's, you know, there's also a layer of down on my back combined with the sleeping pad, it might have worked out okay. And it was fine, you know, like I was still able to sleep. And, you know, again, maybe if I had had a puffy to combine with my quilt and this and, you know, whatever. It's just experimentation. So, but I still really like, you know, accordion foam pads. Ground sheet, it's just a piece of polycarbonate plastic. I believe also from Gossamer Gear. Weighs like 1/10 of an ounce or something. It weighs nothing, and there's no holes in it yet from, you know, like 500 plus miles of use. Probably closer to 600 or maybe even 700 miles now, just like some weekend warrioring type hikes and stuff. So yeah, good stuff. I keep my footprint in my mesh here in the back. Probably my favorite thing, my favorite piece of gear from the whole Colorado Trail is the Z-Packs pocket tarp. Again, crazy, crazy light. It is the most bare bones shelter. It's tiny, and if I was any taller than 6 feet, I don't think that this would work out so well. I think your feet or your head would end up being out of the tarp because it is so small. Yeah, it's like a grapefruit. I mean, it's absolutely tiny, and it doesn't weigh very much either. I mean, I think, again, this is 5 ounces or maybe 6, so like super, super lightweight for a shelter, and yeah, I loved it. I mean, I pitched it in a couple of hailstorms, on mountain passes, and like crazy thunderstorms. Just awesome. Love it. Tent stakes. These are from Hyperlite. All my stakes are in here right now, but just for the Colorado Trail, for the pocket tarp, you only need 6, and I just use the shepherd hooks because they're smaller and lighter. They're titanium, so nice and strong as well. Another great piece of gear. Probably will continue to use these for the rest of my thru hiking career. Very rudimentary first aid kit. It's just got some KT tape for blisters and such, a little bit of ibuprofen. Yeah, that's about it. A couple of like vitamins and whatnot. Normally, there's not any in here right now, but normally I'll keep some Neosporin as well, just to kind of keep things clean. Probably something that could use some work in my kit, but so far it's been just fine. Just Ultra, Lone Peak, Gaiters, simple. Sea to Summit, titanium, spork. Probably should take the carabiner off because I don't use it, and that's a little bit of weight I could save, but again, that's like measuring grams at that point. It's pretty minimal. Likes, just gloves. It's fairly thin. I don't think that I use them at all, except for maybe summiting Mount Massive that morning. It was really cold. Just something that's good to have, I guess, but probably not necessary, and I think I carried them the whole trail and barely used them. Black Diamond headlamp. I don't know the model. It's got the beam, the kind of wide, broad beam, and then red light for at night, of course. Basic, standard headlamp stuff. It's about 3 ounces. I am probably going to replace this going forward with the, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. There's just another headlamp that's for ultra runners. It's like 2 ounces, so I save an ounce on my headlamp. Sawyer squeeze, standard ultralight backpacking gear. Yeah, I don't know. Good stuff. Don't bother getting the small one. Always get the standard Sawyer squeeze because the flow rate is so much better. Bandana. I just wear this underneath my cap to keep my neck out of the sun, like Indiana Jones style. Basic, simple stuff. My Patagonia duckbill cap. Shout out to Charlie from my homie from the PCT, drawing a blank on his trail name. But yeah, he had one of these on the PCT, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. It looks nice and breathable and lightweight, and it's all of those things. It's great. I loved it. Gonna keep wearing these going forward. The cross-country ski cap beanie. It's made out of wool, so nice and warm. Doesn't weigh very much. Hyperlight fanny pack. It's massive. Basically just use this like a wallet, keep all the things that I need access to and don't want to lose in here. So my phone, wallet, maybe my little tiny Swiss Army knife or pocket knife, and lighter. I cold soaked like a crazy person on the Colorado Trail, so I didn't even have a lighter. I didn't need a lighter. Pretty much everybody else you hike with is probably gonna have one, so if I absolutely needed one, I could have borrowed one. But yeah, this fanny pack is awesome. A little bit on the expensive side because it is Cuban fiber, Dyneema, but fairly waterproof. It's got these waterproof zippers. Again, it's just huge. You can fit a lot of stuff in here, which is great, especially in town. If you're gonna leave your bag at the hostel or whatever, you need to get around town and carry some stuff around. This was awesome. Deuce of spades, just a trowel, digging your cat hole. It's like what, 0.2 ounces? 0.6 ounces, sorry. Digs a great hole fairly quickly, and 0.6 ounces is nothing. If you're one of those people who think that you can dig your cat hole with a trekking pole, just get a deuce of spades already and stop screwing around, because I don't want to find anybody else's dookie on trail, and so just get a deuce of spades and dig your 6-inch cat hole. yeah, I mean, it's just whatever. You should have one. Darn Tough socks. It's pretty much the only socks that I use. Can be warm, of course, in kind of warmer weather, so I might look into, you know, doing like some nylon socks or something in the future. These are just bomb-proof. Yeah, I mean, you could keep one pair for a full through hike and you probably won't get holes. Darn Toughs are great. These are the not the Lone Peaks. These are Ultra Superiors, but these are not the shoes that I hiked in. I used Lone Peak Ultras on the Colorado Trail for the first half, and then the second half I was actually trying out, drawing a blank. What the hell is it called? Oh my goodness. Yep, drawing a blank. We're just gonna forget about it. We're gonna pretend that I didn't hike in any other shoe. Ultras, they're great. The toe box is like straight cash. And yeah, zero drop as well. Great for letting your feet do what they're supposed to do. And I think, yeah, just training in these before you hit the trail. You know, if you've never used zero drop shoes, you should absolutely be putting training miles in on Ultras before you hit the trail to make sure that you're strengthening your feet. Yeah, Lone Peak Superiors. I might try these for my next through hike. Like I said, I've done the Lone Peak Ultra Lone Peaks in the past, and I've really liked those. These are a little bit more minimal, a little bit more lightweight. So yeah, not sure how they're gonna do for me, but definitely gonna try these in the future. And yeah, I suppose this is pretty much it. Last but not least, good old plastic water bottles. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, that's my gear video. Good stuff. Oh yeah, underwear here, you know. This is just Sacs, which if you're a dude, it's got a nice lining to, you know, manage your business. Items not pictured. I had a trekking pole as well, of course, laying around my house somewhere. I could go find it, but you know, trekking poles are standard. I used it to, you know, climb hills, descend hills, and pitch my tent as well, or my tarp rather. Also, I had an op sack for all my food, and you know, it's an odor-proof sack, odor-proof potentially, you know, in theory. I didn't have any problems with wildlife or animals, so it seemed to work out well. Part of that's probably also just luck, but yeah, that's I think that's basically it. That covers it. Oh yeah, and I cold soaked my food, like I said, so I just had a peanut butter jar. Justin's peanut butter, the big one. I used one of those, cold soaked. I don't think that the experience of cold soaking is worth the weight savings. For me, personally. To each their own. I mean, maybe I'll try it again in the future and, you know, see if I can figure out the secret to enjoying cold soaking food. But I think the reward of hot meals at the end of long days is worth whatever amount of weight that it, you know, requires to make that happen. So in the future, probably just going to be carrying my stove. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, try out what you want to do, you know, like try out cold soaking. I like recommend it. Maybe just do it on some weekend warrior type stuff and kind of try to figure out if you like it or not. It's not the worst. It wasn't like super awful, but it's just like, not great either, you know. Yeah, whatever, you know. I'm Bluebeard. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell, whatever, you know, all that YouTuber nonsense, or just don't, you know, that's cool too. Anyway, weights and everything will be in the description in a lighter pack link for all of y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you out there. Oh my God, my foot is really asleep. Oh my goodness.